Hello, welcome, Devil Sniper here, and oh my god, you smashed 1,000 views in under 15 hours. That's ridiculous. Thank you ever so much. That was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. The footage in the background has been recorded on the HD PVR2. I want to try it out. Tried it for streaming. Streaming sort of works. Can't get any voice. But let's not worry about that for the moment. Let's talk about the fact I'm sitting in the back of a taxi. The question is, where have I been? Well, I'm not going to tell you just yet. I'm basically sitting in the back of a taxi going to Upton Park because we have a game with Norwich, and I've got to send some emails out. I've got to get some valuations in because I've been to see DSDG. They've given us a few quid, but now we've got to utilise that and see what we can do player-wise, money-wise, wages-wise, and see if we can construct some deals, because I've spent the last 2-3 hours looking over 50 players, which was absolutely magnificent. And as normal, you guys come up with such innovative players. It's absolutely magnificent. The odd Muriel in El Shaarawy, but we really can't afford 23-24 million for those sort of players, unfortunately. But as you can see, we have a home game with Norwich, and as I was saying, the HD PVR2 is being used. It looks great for streaming, but in this first recording, in this first episode, for some reason, the HD PVR was not working at its fullest ability. Some of the clips you will see were slightly laggy, which was really disappointing, and there's no background noise because for some reason it recorded the audio 5 seconds behind the actual video content, which was really frustrating. But I reset it, gave it a little hit, and yeah, it sort of worked perfectly. So I recommend slapping the crap out of it. No, I don't actually, because you might break it. But yeah, I gave it a wee slap and it actually worked. So I was quite happy in the end, to be honest, but I do apologise for the slight poor content in this episode, which really is disappointing. But as I say, in the next few episodes, the content is pretty bang on, and I've got to say the HD PVR done me proud, but it was just this first episode's content that I recorded. It really did absolutely freaking annoy me. Anyway, let's join the game, because as you can see, Nathaniel Klein has the ball on the right-hand side. He marauds forward, cuts inside, feeds the ball into Benzier. Benzier really is an absolute talent. He feeds it into Filippo. Filippo surveys the area. He knocks the ball into Benzier. Benzier takes a great first touch, pulls the trigger, hits the post. 1-0 West Ham after 69 minutes. And that seriously was like watching a football ballet. Absolutely graceful, absolutely majestic, absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. What a strike by Benzier. What an absolute cracking strike. Look at, the most important factor is, look at his first touch. Oh, an absolute gem of a first touch. He just softened it like his foot was a sponge. Great control and a great composed finish. Norwich have a comeback at us, but look at that defending. Lukey Shaw picks the ball up, knocks it forward, but Gudetti doesn't come in for the ball. Norwich pick the ball up again. Bennett has it about 25-30 yards out. He marauds forward, but look at the defending. Look at the numbers back that we have. Great solid defending. Nathaniel Klein comes across. Great defending. Utilising his pace, utilising his defensive ability, and look at that. That is the closest that Norwich actually came to scoring a goal. The ball just swung out, and it didn't cause us any problems. I noticed that Eduardo was struggling during the game, and I felt it was time to take him off. I don't want to overplay him. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of hype surrounding Eduardo at this moment in time. The Brazilian national team coach coming over. The fact he's only just come back from injury. So I wanted to rest him, and I bought on Sissoko. What a replacement to have. Bring on Sissoko. Also bought on Adrian and Jesse Rodriguez, who is an absolute fantastic player. But look at this, Benzier. We're in the 81st minute, and he still has energy and pace to burn. Utterly ridiculous. Burning down the right-hand side. He's going to go for the byline. He puts his head up, sees Gudetti. Gudetti goes for a little audacious sort of half volley on the turn and puts it over the bar, which is a great shame. We have come to expect him to finish that. But in the final minute, Winston Reid with the most important header of his probable career at this moment in time, because he really is playing for a contract, not playing very well since he snapped himself into a gazillion pieces. But the full-time whistle went. We won 1-0 with a fantastic goal from Benzier. And like I say, that game at times was like watching the ballet. Absolutely majestic football played by the boys in the claret and blue. Absolutely majestic, and a great 3 points. And as you would have saw from that league table at the beginning of the game, we really are back in the shout. So straight up to the players lounge. I went into my office, sat down, accessed my database and my email, and look at this. Carlos Tevez. Basically, no, you're not having him. leave us alone. He's our player, which is a great shame. I was hoping they might come back with a valuation. Jack Collison. Adkins has actually offered me Jack Collison. I was a little bit concerned about it. Also, we sold him in Season 1. Dear Carter is 6.5. Clark, they want 10.5. And look at this, Terrence, they want 1.2 million. That gives me a little bit of thought and sort of where we are in the situation of players and what deals we might be able to construct. Having a look at Ogbonna, because he really is a great talent. They want a bid of in the region of 6 million, which really concerns me. We don't have 6 million quid, and we don't really have a player that we can justify get rid of and have any backup money. Same with Nathan Acker. Chelsea come back and say, whoa, 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 no. So I might have to have a word with RDM when I see him down the old battle cruiser, and I'll get a few berries down his old Gregory, and hopefully we'll be able to construct a build. But Kurt Zouma, really struggling to actually try and work out a deal for him. I've offered a few different players now, and a great chat with their managing director and their director of football, and really tried to construct a deal. And basically, they said they might be interested in Mbeya. So I thought, you know what? Let's have a crack. Let's put Mbeya in, no money, and see if they're willing to take that. You know, it'll be interesting to see. And look at this, Aqua. All my days, they want Sissoko plus 6.5 million quid. That makes the deal roughly, that's like £15.5 million if you paid for it in cash, which is a huge amount of money. And basically, no, we can't really justify that. We don't have that cash, and to be honest with you, I'd rather keep Sissoko. But the Kurt Zouma deal, again, they're not interested in Mbeya. And obviously, there's not enough cash. So you probably wondered where I went. Well, I went to Holland, and I went to see Bruno Martins Indy, and I've got to say the lad impressed me. So I put in a little bit of an audacious bid, considering Mbeya is only worth round about 4.7 million. Indy's worth 5.5. Hopefully that will be enough to secure his services. We can only see. And of course, you guys recommended that I check out the free agents, because we don't have a great deal of cash. As you can see, we have well and truly under £1 million quid, and under 30 grand a week for wages. So we need to have a look at the free agents, and I've got to say there was some decent players in the free agents this time round. A couple of centre backs that we're going to have a look at for sure, but look at this lad, absolutely crackerjack. A Cam, 20 years old, overall rating already of 70. Not a bad looking player. Got some nice statistics. Weak foot of 5 stars, skill moves of 4 stars. Low defensive, medium attack. Looks a really decent player. I then saw this lad. I mean, look, 19 years old, rated 69, showing great potential. And again, you have a look at his stats, and his stats are actually quite decent. 3-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves. Ukrainian, CDM, low attacking, medium defensive. Slightly put me off. I would have liked to have seen high defensive, but you know what? 6'2", 19 years old. That is not a bad player. The only problem is we're actually not looking for a new Cam, because we do have Isco, Adrian, and of course the talisman, Filippo. Realistically, we're looking for a centre-back, but my God, I was really impressed with this guy, and obviously the first lad, they really did look quite impressive, and it was nice to see such decent talent on the free agents for once. Obviously, the first centre-back we're going to have a crack at is this lad. 19 years old, rated 68. Also, you've got Josh, who's 19-year-old, rated, I think he's rated 68 as well. And obviously, there was Stephen Holford. Another CDM, I've got to say, these guys were showing so much potential, it was absolutely ridiculous. They were worth a few quid as well. So basically, what I decided to do, while I was travelling, it's really difficult to look at players while you're travelling, is just add them to my main list, go back to the office, when I get 5 minutes, stick them in the database, bring up all their statistics and have a good jolly look at them. And as you can see, I mean, look, he's worth 2.4 million. That's fantastic. We get to see the statistics in a decent manner, and it's a lot easier for me. You know what I mean? You got to see him on the big screen. It's really difficult working from your phone at times. You know, you can't always do it. So having a look at the two centre backs, it's basically between these two I'm going to sign. Obviously, Josh Chambers looks really decent. He's got good acceleration. You know, his jumping already is fantastic. You know, he's got good interceptions. Overall, he's probably a decent player. You know, Matthias is a tank. Look, he's a 6-foot tank, 19-year-old with a weak foot of 5-star and skill moves of 4-star for a centre back. And the only thing that did worry me, he came with high everything. High attacking, high defending, which at the end of the day sort of mellows itself out. And Chambers was obviously medium and medium. But this lad was absolutely... He took my breath away. You know, I was like, wow, he 4-star skill moves. So basically what I've done is I organised a reserve team match, got both of the lads playing, and as you can see, I made an attempt for Mateus. He played so well. He really is cultured. He's so comfortable with the ball on either feet. It was absolutely magnificent. He really was just an absolute crackerjack player. And as you may have just seen, we lost a few players. But never fear. I want to show you the youth squad because our scouts have come back with some seriously unbelievable talent. I'm not sure if you guys have actually fully taken in how much talent we really do have in our youth squad. It's really quite immense. And I am going to become quite sinister and start cutting players. I'm going to get rid of what I consider to be the loose players. I mean, look at that potential of 79 to 94 is absolutely redonkulous. I can't wait to see if he grows. I'm looking forward to seeing how Miguel does, the young Argentinian lad. I've seen him in a couple of youth matches, and I've got to say his first touch is just unbelievable. Really unbelievable. He's just magnificent. As you can see, we have another Eduard coming through. He also likes to be called Eduardo. He's got a bit of ability, to say the least. I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes. And look at that, yes, the trip to Holland has paid off. We get to offer a contract to Indy. I can't wait to offer this guy a contract. He really is an absolute joy to play with. I can't wait to see him in a 3 formation back three with the likes of Tompkins and of course our tank, who hopefully will be back soon, because we have seriously missed the tank so much. It's been ridiculous. As you can see, Mateus took the contract. I don't blame him. Obviously, he's coming to one of the biggest clubs in Europe, let alone the world. So I think that's pretty fantastic. We get an offer for Knockhart from Southampton. Now, I think 2.4 million, to put it politely, is taking the piss. So 2.7 million is a reasonable amount of money for his services, because he is a very talented player. Unfortunately, he joined the club at probably the wrong time. You know, we've brought in the likes of Adrian, Isco, Gudetti, Benzia, Filippo. You know, we've got Dorian Jean who's come in. You know, we've got so many talented players going forward that we just don't need his services, unfortunately. And look at that table. Oh my God. United sit in second place with 44 points. We sit in 7th with 40. The league is just super tight. It really is. It's so competitive. It's really quite a scary season. We really need to up our game and hopefully break into that top 4 again. But as you can see, early doors, a great piece of play by Newcastle. And oh my God, Diemba Ba, who I thought was rumoured to be joining Chelsea, actually hasn't joined Chelsea thus far, has stayed at Newcastle, pledged his future to Newcastle, and destroys us after 21 minutes. Really fantastic piece of football. And I've got to say, we were really awful. As you can see, Kabay picks up the ball on the left-hand side, poor defending, so much space, but Big Butts comes out and makes an audacious attempt at saving it. Puts the player off, which is fantastic. Pick the ball up with Gudetti. He knocks it into Benzia. Benzia with some silky skills gets dispossessed. The ball falls to Adrian. Adrian moves forward on the right-hand side. He gets tackled, but he regains the ball, turns back inside, surveys the area, knocks the ball into Benzia. Benzia turns, has to turn back, feeds the ball back into Adrian. Adrian goes for the shot, and oh my God, it hits the woodwork and goes over. And we went in at half-time losing 1-0 in a very big game. Newcastle also quite high up in the table, and 3 points will see them move up above us. But as you can see in the second half, Isco picks the ball up, really looking audacious with that turn, breaks some space, has a shot, great defensive block in there, and the referee awards a penalty. Not 100% sure. I did not see any infringement. Even with the TV in the stands, as you may know, I have been banned from international games and European games, as well as games within the Premier League. But I have asked the FA to take into consideration that you know, I'm a nice guy really, and perhaps they might come to some sort of arrangement. DSDG have already said they'll pay my fine, so it's no big deal. But Gudetti has the balls to stand up, take the penalty, and yes, he slots it straight down the middle after 60 minutes to make it 1-1. And I've got to say, that was a huge sigh of relief. You know, we weren't playing the best football. We weren't looking very good. Newcastle were very resilient, defending really deep, and just shutting off all the angles and making it very difficult for our boys to get involved in the game. But Ben Arthur has the ball on the right-hand side. Some silky skills, feeds the ball into the box, and oh my God. Cisse, with an unbelievable header after 85 minutes. Makes it 2-1 to Newcastle. some sloppy defending just when we needed to be stout, and we didn't do it, and we ended up losing 2-1. That really was a huge game to lose. And as you can see, Indy was not put off by that. He's accepted our terms. 20 grand a week on a 4-year deal is absolutely fantastic. And unfortunately, we waved goodbye to Mbaya. Got to say, Mbaya just did not work out for us. It's really is quite a shame. And basically, Southampton have come back, reviewed the asking price of 2.7 million, and decided to go ahead and match it, which is fantastic. And we're also going to be waving goodbye to Sebastian Lletget. I do feel sorry for Lletget. You know, he hasn't played very well, and it's a hard time for him. But unfortunately, he will be leaving the club. And there we go, guys. That's the first episode of Double Upload Tuesday, and I will catch you very shortly.